Hi guys, back at you again. Video 2 of the day, and this is going to be series part 2 on the two gods of the Old Testament, the Enki and Enlil brothers battling it out for humanity. Recap: Enlil is the jealous Yehovah or Jehovah Yahweh, and Enki is mankind's father, the serpent. Yes, the serpent, Lucifer, if that's what you want to call him. But see, Saint Jerome of the 4th century, he did the Latin Vulgate, and he just put that word in there. And if you research that word, that's the god Phosphorus, the light bringer. It's not a dirty word. Actually, it's a good little word. So do your research on that, my true seekers, and you'll be just fine. So, Enki wants to help. So, guess what he did? He made the mystery schools. He taught love, peace, compassion, kindness. Help one another, love each other, your brothers. And he is our father. He's Ptah of Egypt. And, dear true seekers, when we say the Lord's Prayer that the Catholic Church has taught, we are praying to none other than Ptah. Yes, my friends. The Lord is our shepherd, we shall not want. You see, the pharaohs were known as God on earth representative, just like the Pope is the vicar of Christ. But you see, the flail and the staff is to help with the flocks of the sheep and to help with knowledge. But see, today, that could be further from the truth. So Enki wants to help us. He wants to help us find our way back to home. He wants us to learn what truth is and what knowledge is. And I do believe that's why he gave us Thoth, the God of wisdom and knowledge. You know, when you're looking through your scriptures, yes, Yahweh looks very evil and murderous and vindictive and lying and putting lion spirits in people's mouths. But then you see a little nicer side of Yahweh. You know? Sweet, loving, kind. You can come to him. He'll be there in your darkest hour. Well, dear friends, that's Enki. You see, when they made this Bible up, they put a lot of gods in it. And you just got to figure out who it is. It's got one hell of a book. But you know who your players are, then it's okay. You see, during the 7th and 6th century BCE, there were two different Bibles, the north and the southern kingdom of Judea, and they were merged together under the two tribes. And they put a little twist on them. You see, the El and Canaanite, what they did is they took all the attributes of El that was passionate, kind, and loving, and they put Yahweh on it, and kind of made him like a little badass. You know, like Adad, Hey Dad, you know, Baal was Marduk. Okay, so you have all those attributes, the storm god, the thunder god, the lightning, the rider on the clouds. They just took all that and put it on Yahweh for their God. Okay, you had gods for every nation. Yahweh dwells in the darkness of the clouds in Deuteronomy 4:11 and 5:22, barring the Baal Hadad series. And the Bible also relates that Yahweh was called Baal by some Israelites, well, Baal was Marduk. And it says, my husband, and no longer will you call me Baal. For I will remove the names of the Baals from her mouth, and they shall be mentioned by none no more. Hosea 2:16. Yahweh was originally subordinate to El. It could be that the Israelites at first imagined him as a god of the same type of Canaanite Baal. Yahweh, as did Baal, appeared as a storm god, as I told you. He established kingship over the subduing cosmic waters and symbolized by a serpent or a dragon. Yahweh did not, any more than Baal or Marduk, remain subordinate to the supreme God, their fathers. If you look at the Enuma Elish or the Epic of Gilgamesh, Marduk is the man. He fights the serpent, that old dragon that's in Revelation, Tiamat. And he is the God of the universe, King of kings and Lord of lords and Lord of heaven and earth, and takes over Enlil's spot. He's the man. So, with our identification of Yahweh with the Sumerian god Enki and the Akkadian god Ea, we have had an opportunity to compare the character and attributes to the deities to see if they represent the same basic natural elements. The following is the authoritative view of Yahweh. He is a storm god. He speaks in thunder. He is the god of the mountains. Fire is both the sign of Yahweh's presence and a weapon. He is a god of the desert. He has control over the waters of the earth. He has control of the rivers, control of the rain. He's a giver of life and one who brings death. And he's a god of war and peace. There are many aspects here that are characteristics of Enki, who is a life-giving deity of fresh water. But there are also others which reflect the more violent nature of his brother Enlil, who was the head of the Mesopotamian pantheon, also known as the Canaanite storm god Seth, the Egyptian god of the desert. The god of Moses thus reflects an amalgam of deities. Yahweh is similar to the god Anu, in that both are viewed as father deities. Anu was understood as the father of the first generation of the gods, including the two brothers Enki and Enlil, while Yahweh was the father of the angelic host, who was referred to throughout as the Old Testament B'nai Elohim, or sons of God. Anu may have also been viewed by the Sumerians as the original creator of the universe, but gradually creation became viewed as a natural process involving impersonal primordial forces. For the Sumerians, Anu was really unimportant, for he existed as a standby deity far away in heaven, which was also the place from where Yahweh ruled according to the Hebrews. So Yahweh is going to rule far away. So I guess that he can't be all over at the same time. So I guess he's not omnipresent. How can he be in the heavens somewhere and not here? Okay. Don't give me the line. So the apparent relationship between Yahweh and Enlil is much more substantial. Enlil was not viewed by the Sumerian as the original creator of the universe, but he was viewed as the ultimate ruler of the gods and of mankind. Sumerian myths also describe Enlil as the father of the generation gods. Several myths refer to Enlil opposed to Enki as the creator and father of mankind, and the cult center of Enlil was located in the holy city of Nippur, which was never a political capital and does not appear as a capital city on the Sumerian kings list. It was Enlil who decided to send the great flood to wipe out mankind, and as we know, Enki and his loving self told Zuasundra, Unitipsum, and Noah to build a boat. And he saved us. If any god could be, or said to be, the personal god of the Sumerians, it would be Enki. Like Yahweh's relationship with the Hebrews, Enki was viewed by the Sumerians as powerful, kind, wise, and he protected the Sumerians from animosity of other gods, especially Enlil, and from neighboring enemy tribes. Just as Yahweh cared for his people, the Hebrews, so was Enki portrayed as caring for the Sumerians. As mentioned, Enki's apparent love for mankind could be traced back to Sumerian traditions that Enki, just like Yahweh in Genesis, was personally involved in creating mankind, and Enki also played a role similar to Yahweh when, though his actions, a particular family was chosen, warned, and spared from the great flood, being given instructions to build the ark. So, as we've learned, Enki was the lord of the earth at one time, and he was called Ea in Akkadian. He's Semitic. And this is the same Babylonian traditions that he was, scholars have determined that Ea was vocalized as Ea, E-Y-A. I am who I am, Ea Asher Ea. So Enki, the god who created man and later warned Zuasundra, Unitipsum, like I said, of the impending destruction of mankind, is one and the same as the God of Moses. But you see, we know the story of Moses isn't, I mean, it's a made-up deal. But they had to put this God in there to, there's two gods, the two brothers. And so they had to have this relationship of the ruling gods. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it for this video, because we're going to have to do this in series. So as I said, dear truth seekers, when you read Yahweh, I am that I am, Ea Asher Ea, is the same as Enki. Everyone wants to say that Yahweh was evil, bad, murderous, lying, and this Yahweh was. But my truth seekers, what we have to understand is that there are two gods in this. Elohim, Lord God. Okay? You get me? So whenever you read in the Old Testament something nice that God says, or this Anunnaki God says, know that it's Enki. When you read something that is murderous and vengeful and violent and storm and darkness, that is the opposite of Enki. Don't be frightened, my friends. It's okay. It's okay. You have to know what you're reading. So, with that being said, when you search for the truth, let the truth set you free. And let Nurse J bring you the truth. Go to the two gods of the Old Testament in your computer. And it's under Dr. Reverend Red. And you'll see it, what I'm reading to you. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe. Get your notifications. And I'll be making another video shortly on something else. See you then. Hotep and Ashe.